All right, so we're going to move on to the next press conference in our schedule, which is Ubisoft. We know that their conference is going to happen on Tuesday. On the Tuesday for us. Sorry, it's going to be Monday evening for us, really, and it's going to be happening at 1 second. It's going to be at 9 p.m. on Monday. Now, Ubisoft always put out wacky conferences. They tend to start off with Just Dance and a bunch of people in brightly colored clothing. Yeah. But one of the big things that they have to bring out, and they will bring out, is the new Assassin's Creed, which we know is going to be called Assassin's Creed Origins. It's pretty much a reboot for the entire franchise, I think. And it has
Origins is
yeah.
what they came up with?
Yeah, and it's going to take place in a time, I think it's 1346 BC, yeah, Egyptian times. It's going to be in Egypt. There's been a few leaks lately. A few screens have come out. There was actually a really crazy fake trailer that also leaked a few days ago. It wasn't real, but
so there can't be any guns.
No guns. The protagonist also seems to have a bow and arrow, I think, and a shield in a few of the leaked images. But I think they have to come big with Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed has been on a downward trend since Unity and Syndicate so poorly.
I don't want to be climbing up a wall that I'm not supposed to be climbing up.
Yeah, they have to refine the controls.
I don't want to be stuck midair.
Anything. And I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan, so I'm really interested in the demo that they're going to show us. What are the systems looking like now? How is the free climbing and the parkour? How has that changed? What are you doing with the story? What's happening with the modern day? I'm one of the Assassin's Creed fans who really has liked the overarching modern day plot line with Abstergo and stuff. They seem to have been backtracking on that ever since Black Flag. How are you going to integrate that back in, or are you going to just say whatever? So there's quite a few interesting things that need to be answered with this Assassin's Creed showing.
Do you think that they should stay with the same formula, or do you want it to be more along the lines of, I mean, we haven't played Breath of the Wild, or do you want them to be able to climb absolutely everything? Do you feel that people are demanding more?
I need to climb things that need to be climbed, but for me, more importantly, I need you to strip back and just go to the bare essence of what Assassin's Creed is. Get rid of putting 1,000 icons on the map and putting 1 million activities for us to do. Make meaningful side quests that have like real characters, that have arcs and that kind of thing. And I just don't want to make it feel like it's copy-paste game design all throughout the thing, and I want those kind of, and I like, for example, keep the stuff from Unity where you have the big assassinations, the key assassinations in the story where you can approach an assassination in a big play space 1 million different ways that you like. That stuff I really love, and that's what's great about Assassin's Creed.
I want the idea of recruitment. I want that to really stick.
Yeah.
To have like the idea of recruiting a lot of assassins, and you have the idea that you're building something.
But they did that before. They've done that in previous Assassin's
they have. But
I send those assassins on missions, and they can help you out.
Good. But then I want to have the feeling of I'm building more like a crew of an army.
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
That's what I want.
Your Assassin's Creed.
Yes. Assassin's Creed kind of feels a little bit slow when you get through the game and just like, okay, I'm really just doing this to develop my equipment and to do this and to do that, hit this side quest, carry out this assassination. I want to feel like I'm building something.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed, we're expecting really big things from that. One of the other games that we know will be there, let's kind of go over this quickly, because to be honest, there's not much news about it lately, is South Park: The Fractured Butthole. We know this game is coming out in, I think it's September release date. Can correct me if I'm wrong, but this game has been MIA for a very long time. Meant to come out during this spring, it hasn't happened. It's been delayed until later this year.
Did you feel like there's a lot of pressure with the South Park game because the other one was so good?
I think the pressure as well comes from Matt and Trey Parker, who are the creators of South Park. They put a lot of pressure on themselves. They're right there in the weeds every day of development.
And I've heard that they like changing.
They like changing jokes and systems constantly on the fly, and I think
it's not as easy. It's not as easy as making a TV show.
No, definitely not. They have been on record saying making South Park was 1 million times harder than making the TV show, making Stick of Truth. So I think they've got a really high quality bar for themselves. But I'm expecting another showing from here, maybe a few more, I think it would just be a general overview, systems, maybe a specific area of the story or something. So I think that should be pretty cool. We're also going to get Mario Rabbids, which is the Nintendo Ubisoft partnership to make a Mario and Raving Rabbids game.
I don't know if I'm so excited about it though.
The leaks so far make it seem like meme the game. Because it's full of memes, it's full of selfies, it's full of just that kind of thing. So I really don't know how much interest I have in Mario Rabbids, but I suspect we'll get a pretty comprehensive gameplay demo with that. Mario has a rocket launcher in this, so there's that.
Oh.
So yeah, that's Rabbids, and we're obviously going to get Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
And we talked about that on the last episode. We've now, in between that time, there's been a gameplay trailer. Sorry, not a gameplay trailer, a story trailer, along with a few of the systems and story and themes being developed. There's also been this crazy backlash from white America about this game's all about killing religious white people. Anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Far Cry is going to be good regardless, in my opinion. I think it's going to be good, especially if they stick to the same formula. I mean, you're going to have the ability to cross over large spaces of land. You're going to be able to drive around rampant.
You can fly planes now as well.
Yeah, you see. So I think Far Cry is going to be successful. It's just a matter of the approach that they take and if they add more new aspects to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll completely change the core elements of the Far Cry game itself. But I think it's going to be pretty similar and we're going to enjoy it regardless because we are not yet bored of what Far Cry produces so far.
Yeah. I think as well, they're going to show off the demo entirely in co-op because you can play the full game in co-op. So I think that'll be how they approach that. The second to last here, The Crew 2. We know that's been announced. We expect it to be shown there. I think it's going to be more The Crew. Not we had the whole America last time. Maybe they'll give us the whole of the world. Maybe they'll put it all in Europe. I'm not sure.
I don't see much changes in The Crew 2.
The Crew will be the Crew, I think.
Yeah.
And lastly, they've spoken about a new action-adventure IP that's also socially connected. So I'm expecting us to have a look at that as well. I think, similar to how they have their Division, First Look, Watch Dogs, I think we're going to get something similar with this new IP. And I hope it tickles my fancy. I hope it's something that really interests me.
I'd be interested in jumping onto The Crew right now.
Into The Crew specifically.
Yeah. I'd be interested. I mean, the first one I only played a little bit of it, and it didn't blow my mind specifically. But this one, depending on how good they sell it, then I'll think about it.
Yeah. Alright, so that's what we think will come from Ubisoft. We're now going to answer some questions about their conference.
Okay, do you guys feel that Assassin's Creed might be the last chance to revive this Assassin's Creed series?
Well, from my point of view, I feel that Assassin's Creed has developed this sort of fan base that is so solid. Even when they screw up, people are always going to give them that consistent, maybe they'll do it better next time. I think it probably takes a development team like Ubisoft, because they're so big, it takes them a few more attempts for them to completely screw it up.
Yeah.
I don't know how the world works, but from what I've noticed is that if you have got the fan base down on lock, then you're kind of safe.
Yeah.
For you to but they do have to do it well.
They have to do it well.
They have to do it well regardless of their fan base. I think this is a time where you have to do it well because you have taken a break and you did screw up on Unity and Syndicate was okay.
Yeah.
This one has to be good.
This one has to be good. But I don't think this is their last chance because like you rightly said, the core fan base is there. Their games are never outright trash. So no, I don't think this is their last chance. They've made an Assassin's Creed movie. I mean, they're all in. They've put all their chips into Assassin's Creed. So no, I don't think so.
People have been really happy with the theme that Far Cry seems to be going with. There's been controversy, of course, but do you think the seriousness of that theme might be whitewashed by extra, Far Cry wackiness that tends to happen in games?
That whole thing is absolutely weird with the backlash because I don't think people playing these games are religious cultist members who are white. If you're not that, why would you be angry? So Yeah, it's a really interesting approach to the story, I feel, but I don't see that. I think the wackiness and just the actual story itself and the things you can do in Far Cry are going to wash over this whole controversy thing.
I mean, look, from what I've noticed about video games and their storylines and the approach that they take, I mean, this thing was even brought up in terms of The Division. It always brings up this case of video games should not be taken as seriously as the storyline's approach, or you have the other extremist side saying that video games totally influence the way that you should be thinking about life and things. It's a very difficult balance, and for you to say that Far Cry is talking about, it's extremist in this sense, I don't know that it should always be taken as seriously.
Because Far Cry is exaggerated anyway.
Exactly.
No character in Far Cry exists in real life.
It's a video game.
It's exaggerated to make a point.
But that doesn't excuse the fact that sometimes video games may take an approach that is so out of this world, and it might like change your opinion on stuff. But I don't think that it should be taken so seriously. I don't think so.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at South Park and how everyone's looking forward to that, TV show adaptations into video games. What would you guys think of a Rick and Morty video game?
Oh man, I think a Rick and Morty video game would be incredible. We already do have Pocket Mortys on iPhone, which I've played a bit of. We've got Rick and Morty VR, which also looks really cool. But I think a full-fledged console Rick and Morty would be so hype. I'll be interested in the approach they take. Are you going to make it like an action-adventure game? Are you going to make it like something like, for example, Paper Mario RPG, which could be really fun?
It would have to be an RPG.
It would have to make fun of video games to a certain extent, similar to South Park. Yeah. But that would be, I haven't thought of that. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Tiny Rick.
Yeah, Tiny Rick. Yeah, so I would really be interested in a Rick and Morty video game. I would just what subgenre would they go for? It'd be my most interesting.
I mean, from my opinion, in a Rick and Morty game, it would just have to stay vulgar. It would have to have a good story, and it just has to feel like I'm watching the show. But also, my decisions would also. It would help if my decisions in the game would affect the story. That would be really nice. That would be good. Yeah.
Okay, finally, sure you've noticed all of the, relaunching, rebranding Ubisoft are doing. Have you guys seen the new logo?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I think from the top view, it looks like it's like the Ubisoft logo. But if you see from the side, it looks like a turd, like the shit emoji. So yeah, the logo. I think it's more bland than anything. It's more modern, but it's whatever, and it's supposed to focus on. It's supposed to be representative of their socially connected online games.
It didn't excite me, but I didn't hate it.
Did you see the 80s Ubisoft logo?
No,
because they did the timeline of older. The 80s Ubisoft logo was so sweet.
That was nice.
Big ass UB in pink with soft written like in that 80s cursive handwriting. So cool. The new logo is boring. Does nothing for me. So yeah, I think that's it for the Ubisoft conference. And we'll move on to the next one.